Welcome back to Henry's Garage. In this episode we try to get some of the bits that we've installed working off the wiring loom, and so we can see what is good and what isn't. I found the rest of my bits for the dashboard, and I decided that today I need to look at actually getting the heater unit in properly. So I took the dash out and I've just temporarily put it there because I just wanted to add some paint to that again, which actually is the support for it. And then I've got the air vents that come out of that just there. And then over here I've tried to work out where everything goes in terms of the dashboard, the light switches, etc, etc, etc. Some of this needs a good paint again, so some of it I painted black because it was all looking so mucky. Other bits I didn't have out at the time, so didn't get painted. So I think I've worked out where everything goes, and so I think the next job is to actually paint it and then put it in the car. But I don't know. Yeah, I just don't know. Oh yeah, and I did manage to find this, which is slightly different to the one that I went and bought, which is this. So I think what we'll do is, recognising how they go, like that, we'll put some backing on here. We'll work out where these go, and then we'll have to cut pipes down. We'll have to cut these down and then connect them up here, just there. So I'm in a bit of a kind of confused muddle at the moment, and we'll work through it. I'm looking at this and just how awful it looks on the back side, so I've given it a squirt with contact cleaner, which has helped a lot, but you know, I don't know if any of these connections are still in place, and I honestly have no idea how to go about testing it. So I've been given some of the dash plastic stuff that goes inside the car, a bit of a lick of paint, and I've been fitting the heater unit, which is more or less there. This isn't in, and I've been trying to just connect bits up. So these are for automatic windows, which I'm not going to reinstall. This, I'm not sure what it connects to. I have all of these extra connections that were so kindly done to lights. Now I'm not sure if I'm going to bother with those, to be honest, and so what I might do, I need to have a think about this, but clearly these two wires here should actually go in here, and they've been bypassed around somewhere. I guess I need to I suspect that might be so that they're always on. So that's probably a switch for internal, for side lights, and then full lights, isn't it? Sorry, there we go. See, so we've got side, it's got two switches on it. There we go. Side, full. Okay, so if that's what that's for, then these are for one of those. But it just goes to all of these little red lights instead. Which goes to a purple wire which goes off somewhere. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just trying to, so I've put this in, and these heater unit, the vent bits, just so that I can sort of start trying to get the wiring going in the right place, up above or below or whatever, trying to work out where bits go. And I've been trying to get bits up to this instrument panel as well. Now I'm very worried about this instrument panel and the circuit board on the back, as to whether or not that circuit board has any life in it. You see here, you can see how it's come off. So I'm not sure how to fix possibly that, or if it is fixable. What I have done is I got myself a pen, a nickel pen, and in theory you can draw the connections again for some of these. So we'll see anyway. And then I've been looking at this as well, and I've been trying to work out where these connect up to, and I don't know. So I've just taped these together, so they obviously go to the same place, and my initial thought was maybe they go in here. Oh, and maybe they do, maybe it's a tight fit. Yeah, oh yeah, they do. So 2 go to one and 2 go to the other, clearly, but I don't know which go to which. And then I've also got, this says volt fuel, but it must be on the back here somewhere, or it goes inside somewhere. Well, that's a possibility, but I don't see where it goes in. So rather than rushing this, I'm going to just go back to see if when I took it apart, and that video, see if it shows me how I did it. Right, I'm just trying to see if I can get something working electrically. So I've got the battery connected up like that. I've got these connected together so that we get then power through to the main brown and all of that. And if we come back to the dash, I've got the heater unit installed, and when I come in here, without the ignition turned on, with the ignition turned on it works, and without it, it doesn't. That's good. If we just bring that up there. So there, it's not going at all. Okay, so which one's on? There. Okay, so we've got that. Now I'm then trying to check my wiring, and we can see here with the ignition on we've got our 12 and a bit volts. Hopefully you can see that. Without it, it doesn't. Okay, and then I'm trying to see, I'm losing it somewhere, and I don't really know where. So I figured red and white must be now live everywhere. That might be wrong, but that's what I've assumed. And so when I then come over to my starter relay here, and when I come over here, see I've only got, for that, I've only got 2 and a bit. And for the thicker one, I've only got 1. So I'm not quite sure. I'm thinking that must mean I've got a bad earth somewhere. But I'm surprised that the heater's then working with a bad earth for the ignition, because well, or maybe it goes off before it gets to that relay. I noticed that this light, there we go, so when it connects properly, was coming on. Not particularly well, but still coming on. So, and that had other lights connected up to it, and one over here as well. Oh, was that one as well? No. But so I've removed the extra lights from both feeds. I'm going to tape these bits up now. And I wonder actually if that's connected directly to this. And so those are when the ignition comes on. And like I said, I'm going to tape those up. I'm going to remove this here, and I'm just going to connect these back onto there as they originally were. Okay, so I realised that the reason the fan might be working and not most other stuff is because it's really well earthed, because that's where I connected up my earth cable. So that might be why the fan was working and nothing else, and I need to really work around getting it, which is kind of what I thought. But I have taken this lot off, and I've switched the bulbs, and so this one comes on instead now, no matter how weak. And it's only getting 2.7 volts there, which seems a bit low to me. But I also noticed on the instrument panel the coolant lights coming on, which is kind of nice. Yeah, I thought I saw the top clock ticking there, but I don't. Also, what have I heard? I've heard a relay. Nope, not now though. No, well, I thought I heard a relay clicking there before, but it seems to have decided it doesn't want to anymore. I tried the ground elsewhere, the fan still works, so it wasn't down to the ground. We've actually got that connected up fine. I also had just a little look at the back there, and the coolant line coming on. Well, that just means that the bulb's working. Could be the others aren't working because of the bulb. So there could be that. It could be the circuit's broken because the mess of the back and how bad that circuit board looks. So I'm just going to completely ignore the instrument panel for the time being, and I'll come to back to that at a later date. So what I think I'm going to have to make sure it is earthed better in several places. But I think I'm going to go away and have another read about electrics and have a chat with my dad about it and see if I can work out what we need to do. So, because for example at the moment, if I turn on the light switch in there, I don't get power to here. I might get 4 volts coming out, but I don't get a full 12. Okay, it's a couple of days later. What is it? It's the 27th, I think, today. So Christmas has been and gone. So I've got this switched to the on position. So when I look here, we can see I've got a full 12 volts coming through. Okay, and it then comes through and eventually gets over here to the starter relay. So we've got it, and it's the red and white wire. So the red and white wire into the starter relay, the thick one, when I get here, is only reading 2 volts, but there's a second one here which is reading 4 volts. Now that must mean, I'm sure it should be a full 12 volt getting there, and so I must have a resistance somewhere along the way or something getting broken. So I'm going to have a quick look at the wiring diagram and see if I can find where the issue is. Okay, this area here, number 5, is the starter mode relay, or the starter relay. and it's got one white and red coming in. The thicker one is a white and orange that is coming out. So we have white and red coming in here. We have the brown, which obviously comes from the battery, coming in here. So the white and red goes across the coil and gets earthed. Then this is showing two open terminals. Okay, now when I applied power, and then you've got a white and orange coming out and a white and yellow. Okay, and when I applied the power, I'm getting 12 volts on the white and yellow, 4 on the white and red, and 2 on the white and orange. So they're obviously going off somewhere else and coming back here. So I'm just going to have a bit further look at it. I don't understand how the white and yellow can be getting power. So if we follow the white and yellow, there's two that come out. So one comes along here and down. There we go, white and yellow. It comes out to 88, which is the ballast resistor wire, and then goes into the seat belts and gets earthed. So it has to be switched to get it there, and at the moment I'm not even putting it through the relay, and so there shouldn't be anything getting to that one. And the other one goes like this. And comes into 89, which is the coil. And from the coil goes up to the distributor, number 90, and to the tachometer, which is not connected up. So there's nowhere for white and yellow to get power. Okay, so the ignition also has a white wire that comes out, which when turned, it's so when the ignition is in position, then that's powered, and that, if we follow it down, comes along here and across and down and comes here. So it comes along this one. Okay, comes down here to here, and then it goes into this junction here, which, now I don't know if this is possible. What's 88 again? Yeah, so it could then be travelling back up through here and coming out there. I don't know if that makes sense, but it looks like it's just a junction here, so I think it might be possible. Otherwise I'm not sure that they would have put the little, they'd have just done a line straight over it, so there must be something connecting it here. So I wonder if that's what's going on, and I wonder if that means that the white and the red are connected up the wrong way in some way. I don't know, let me think a bit more. Okay, I hope I can zoom in on this to show you. But this is the starter relay, and it's one where, if you look here, you can see that the two circuits are open normally. So we get our power, ground power, from battery comes in here. Power from the ignition comes into either 85 or 86. The other one goes to earth. And when we apply power to whichever one we've given the power to go across the coil, then that should cause these two to click into place, and so we get power across there, I think. So that's what we're going to see if we can get this to do. Actually, before we do that, we're just going to check the resistance between 85 and 86, and my understanding is it should be between 50 and 120 ohms, and if it's outside that, then it's probably broken. Okay, so it's 54, so it looks like it's good from that point of view, so we'll connect up some power now and see what we get. Is that in? Just, right, let's pull this up a bit. Okay, so I have got my positive coming into 30. This is clamped on the negative on 85. When I play 86 to the power, oh, well there you go, you can hear it. So that sounds like it's working. We should be able to take a voltage reading as well. So if we just try to click that one on. And there we go, we get 12 volts to that. And I hope my head isn't in the way here. Ah, oh, I'm not hearing it click now. There we go. Having a 12 volts. Right, so I think the relay is good. Okay, so the starter relay appears to be working for me. Right, I'm just testing the other relays. I'm not entirely sure this one's okay. So when I connect the power, it was working. So you can hear it clicking. Okay, and I've got the 50 ohms which I talked about. If you look here at the volts, hopefully that's in the picture, yeah. If you look at the volts, and it's connected across, we've got 12 and a bit, but prior to that we've got 7, which looks wrong to me. I would expect it to not be there. Okay, and similarly you'd expect it to be here on this particular circuit. So it falls to, what does it fall to? So it falls to about 9.5 from the 12. So I'm not convinced that's right. I don't know how further to test that. It could just be that this isn't a very good connection and I probably need to make it a bit better. But you can see on this one 87A, which is a centerpiece, should have 12 volts, and then it gets switched off it onto the 87. So you know, I would expect them to be clear. So I'm going to take out the next one and see what that's like, and see how much different it is. Okay, so this is the next one, and this seems to me much better. So it's going from the 12 all the way down to 3 or 4, and similarly it's going from just a couple right up to the full 12. So there's probably something I can test around resistance across some of the other wires in here. I'll have a little look to see, but I think this one's probably good and the other one wasn't. Okay, so this is the horn relay, and I have got one horn connected up and earthed, and when I press the horn we get a horn. So good, so we've got the horn working. I haven't put the second one on yet. I want to get the lights working next, and actually it looks like one's come on. Oh no, it's that, right, okay, so but that one's gone down. I'm sure that was up earlier. Gosh, I don't remember. Anyway, yes, interesting. Okay, and we've got one headlight working there. The other one, and let's just show you that when I flip the switch it also works. So there you go, that's dip, that's beam, and no, so just the flashing of it doesn't work, but there we go. Okay, so there's that side done. I'm not quite sure why it isn't working, the other side isn't working yet, so we're going to look at that now. Okay, it's coming on, it's beginning to brighten up a bit, but I think the problem we got there, you can see that between the two, is actually a grounding issue. But it is slowly improving, so possibly that grounding issue is improving. So I'm going to leave it for a bit, see if it sorts itself, just, you know, from use. And I'm going to fit the horn. Thanks for watching. I'm going to stop this video here. I've got the few bits of the front working. I'm now going to go to the back. I'm going to put in place all of the stuff that I have for the back and start working on the lights there in the next episode.